Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 7 of the Couch Co-op podcast. I'm Riley, and joined by Cal as always. If you guys are liking these podcasts, the clips, whatever, drop a sub, drop a like, share it around if you like it. And let's get into it. What's up with you, Cal?
I'm good. We just had a birthday party for my kid today, so I've been doing party stuff all day.
Mm-hmm.
Went to the pool, and we got shut down because there's apparently lightning within 10 miles, so they have to shut the whole pool down.
Really? Pool's closed. All right.
We just kind of sat out in the sunlight for an hour, and then they finally opened it back up. But I'm good, dude. There's a lot going on. We've got a lot to talk about, and not very much time to do it.
Oh, yeah.
The biggest news of the day. So we're filming this a little early because I'm going to be gone for a whole week. So this is Friday the 16th. XQC is leaving Twitch. Get this, guys. He's leaving Twitch. He's signing a 2-year contract with Kick for $100 million.
That's a lot of money.
To put that in perspective, I saw someone make this comparison. LeBron James signed a 2-year contract with, who's he with? I don't even know. The Lakers, is he? I don't know. I don't follow basketball. Yeah. For like $96 million. XQC is making more money than LeBron James.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Mm-hmm. It's like crazy to me how fast these internet personalities are getting like traded around like NFL or like NBA players is nuts. And for like
it's like a draft, yeah.
Yeah. And for the same if not more money. So, yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a healthy chunk of change for 2 years too. Like that is a lot of money.
And I believe it's a non-exclusive deal. So does that mean that you can like stream anywhere?
So I didn't have time to read too much into the details, but that sounds right. Like Kick doesn't care as far as I know.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a big deal, definitely.
And you gotta know, dude, I love it because I enjoyed my time on Twitch. Like I didn't have anything wrong with it per se, like as a small streamer there. But I know a lot of people have complaints, and I just feel like these companies, I don't really want to talk about Activision anymore, but there's more stuff Activision's done, so I'm sure we'll touch on it. But you just have these mega corporations that are so anti-consumer, and it kills me because it's like, why? Like Twitch, you lost your biggest source of revenue. He's gone. Like Kick poached him, and they did it very handily. Like I don't shoot, man.
Yeah, and like I saw some other streamers, like I saw Asmongold. He tweeted at Kick, "What's up? Hook your boy up." I think I saw a couple more, but yeah, I hope that these I hope that people start moving over to Kick and ditching Twitch, because it's just like XDefiant and Call of Duty. I would love for people to move from the old corporations that are not treating their consumers or their, I don't know if you call them employees well, but yeah. So it's always nice to see people move to a different platform or game or whatever. So
right, yeah. Did you watch XQC's announcement?
No.
I mean, it wasn't anything crazy, but it was
Gotcha.
it was still like exciting. It's like finally, like how long have we just been beholden to Twitch, to the Twitch overlords that just dictate to all the streamers, and that we've talked here about the double standard, like the clothing standard they used to have, and then it just goes out the window because they realize, oh, we can make a lot of money off of these young women who are basically selling their bodies. Like just so anti-consumer, anti-everything. And so I am so happy, dude. I'm so happy to see Call of Duty go down. I'm so happy to see Twitch go down. It makes my day. It really warms my heart.
Oh yeah. Well, there was also an incident which was much more hot than warm that took place a few days ago on a certain Twitch streamer. I don't know. She's medium sized. I think she's not too big, too small. Yeah. So she left her home to go on vacation or something for like the weekend, and when she was gone, she left her mother and like her pets at her house and her car. So what happened is this deranged individual who who was like, I guess like a viewer of hers, drove 700 miles to her home while she was away and lit her car on fire. And it's like, it's just bonkers. It's psychotic. It's just straight up psychotic. We like touched on this before, where like the viewers and the streamers' relationships just don't. It's like a seesaw. Like, it's only in one direction. It doesn't go the other way, really. Unless you're like smaller. But like, I don't. As far as I know, there were no like motives or anything like that released. I know that he wasn't. He was arrested afterwards, so that's a good thing. But the fire, it torched her car. Like the whole front end of it is just gone, pretty much. It's black and destroyed, and part of her home was like the fence, and like some of the wall was burned. But yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, those we talked about the streamer Andes, and it's a parasocial relationship, and it's scary. It's, I think not Asmongold, Amaranth had people stalking her, and they would put, I believe if I'm remembering right, they would put stuff in her mailbox, like they would do really creepy stuff, and they would like be sitting outside her house just waiting for her. And and like you said, 700 miles to go and just torch someone's house. Like, I didn't dig super deep into the story. I probably should have. I watched a few minutes of her, video that you sent me where she was kind of talking about it, and it's really sad and it's tragic. And she didn't do anything to deserve that. And rarely victims do something to deserve it. I mean, not that victim, you know what I'm saying. I'm not saying victims ever deserve anything, but like, what did she do? Did she not shout you out for donating $100? Like what? I don't know, dude. Yeah, and then I mean, what you just like, this guy threw his life away. Like, that's an arson charge. That's a first-degree felony. I'm not sure. Like, he will be serving prison time for that.
Yeah.
And then you have the issue of going across state lines to do something, and that just makes it like, I think that makes it more of like a federal thing. So like, this guy's looking at some serious prison time.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And I mean, good, but
Yeah.
I just don't get it, man.
I don't either. Like I said, like on the first or second episode, one of these days, man, a movie's gonna come out like The Whale, and it's gonna be an Oscar-nominated performance, and it's gonna win a ton of awards, and yeah, just one of these weird scenarios is gonna be put into film, and I wouldn't be surprised if I see something even worse or more crazy happen to a Twitch or not even just Twitch, but just a live streamer in general, from some deranged viewer, listener, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was that the Boogie thing that happened. What was that, 2 or 3 years ago? Where the guy shows up on his doorstep and Boogie pulls a gun, which he shouldn't have done, but still, like, that's an unprecedented thing to just show up on someone's doorstep. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think it's like not feeling invincible, but feeling like you can do, like, do you think people are pushing boundaries just to get attention, or do you think they're like, I know every situation's different, but like, say the arson guy, fire guy, we can call him. Do you think he is just doing whatever? Do you think he's that desperate for her attention that he's like, I'm going to set her car on fire? Like, this is like pulling a girl's hair in, middle school type of a thing. Like, what do you think?
So this is going to require some backstory. So there's this guy. His name is Matan. You might see him, but you don't know that you see him. He shows up to different influencers, like streams or events, or live streams or events. He's most infamous for crashing the Game Awards last year when he shouted out Bill Clinton when Elden Ring won Game of the Year. So there's that.
If God of War Ragnarok came out just a few months earlier, it would have a bigger chance.
Real quick, I want to thank everybody and say that I think I want to nominate this award to my Reformed Orthodox Rabbi Bill Clinton. Thank you, everybody.
Who was that guy?
All right.
Who was that guy?
But he revealed that his purpose for doing all of this was to like shove it in these like people's faces that like you are not as important as you think you are, and like you guys are just influencers with all this money, and you like you brag and boast about everything. So I'm trying to bring a light to that. That's kind of what I think that like that fire guy was doing. He just hated like the position that this woman was in, probably because he hated his position in his life, which is most common for like internet trolls and drama like that. So that's kind of what I think. He was just kind of like trying to stick it to her in a way to be like, yeah, you deserve this because you have this nice car and this nice house, and and now you're on vacation for Twitch streaming. Oh, come on, get off it. So that's kind of what I think. That's my opinion anyway. So
no, I mean, I think that's valid. Like, I mean, there's obviously a screw loose somewhere in the guy's head, so there's not a lot of rationale going on up there. But no, but I think you're right. I think it's in part. I think it's or maybe what I said and a little bit of what you said is like, I want attention and I'll do anything to get it. Or, you've had it so good. You have this car, like you don't deserve it. And I think that's a big criticism I see of streamers and YouTubers is like, you don't work that hard. Like, why do you need time off?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's crazy. Shout out to her. That's really sad. I feel sorry for her, but crazy people, internet people.
Yeah.
Well, and that's a crazy thing too, because there's a poll that came out a year or two ago. I don't know who did the pollster. I don't know, but it's like a vast majority of our generation want to be Twitch streamers and want to be YouTubers. Like, and it's crazy how open people are to trade their privacy for money, for riches, for fame. And a lot of people, unfortunately, don't have the I'll say street smarts, but for the internet to not dox themselves in a lot of ways. And so unfortunately you have things like swattings and things like this that happen, which I saw a video I think it was yesterday of he used to be one of the Mr. Beast guys, Jake the Viking. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about. But he just got swatted the other night, and it's terrifying. I think that is one of the worst things that can happen to you if you're online. Like, somebody just swats you, because we've had occurrences of people actually dying from that. It's terrifying. It's terrible.
And then of course, Keemstar being Keemstar brought the guy in Drama Alert the next day who called in the swatting.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's somewhere on the internet. Maybe it got taken down. I don't know. But going back to the statistic part of people like wanting to be influencers, I think it opens up the conversation of like, should the government like put more emphasis on what they want people to be or not? Because I've heard that like the same polls are done in like other countries like China and Russia, whatever, and they're all astronaut, doctor, teacher, whatever, not influencer. So that's mostly in like America, I think. That's kind of a touchy subject for some people, because they love their freedom, their firearms, and their beer, stuff like that. But it's kind of like concerning. I've said that before, where people would rather be an idiot with a camera than in the hospital, operating on someone. I think it's a very much concerning. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's arguments you could go both ways with that, but I think eventually it's either going to get which it's already so saturated that it's almost impossible to make it.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a lot of people, I would say personally, from what I know, about 80% of people just don't make it overall content creation. Like they never make a paycheck. And then there's probably about 15% of people that do it that actually like make a living on it, that can actually support their family. And then there's probably about the 5 to 1%, I don't know the actual numbers, that make a lot of money doing it. And unfortunately for most of our population, you know, for the kids that watch Mr. Beast, that watch I'm spacing on names, but I don't know many kids that watch Keemstar, but you know, these personalities that, you know, like Boogie used to be and Wings are like, they watch these people and they're like, I just want to play video games. Like, I don't want to do something hard. I don't want to be a plumber. I don't want to be a doctor.
Yeah.
I want to play video games. And what they don't see is the vast amount of work, you know, the catalog. Like a lot of these bigger channels have 2, 3, 4,000 videos over the last 10 years. Like that's a lot of time put into their craft. And, I don't think most people are just going to flame out anyways. And then, so my point is, I think we'll see it swing back. Like, I think people will finally realize that a lot of them aren't going to make it and they need to do something else. Like, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's
interesting.
It's hard to change someone's perspective when they look at someone like XQC who's in this position who just got a ton of money for live streaming. Like that's not going to help anyone at all, like sway them in the direction of being a doctor or whatever, you know, having to go to school for what is it, like 4 to 8 years. And so
well, and I think like it's very in our element as, you know, online personalities right now. But I mean, this has been going on for 50 years. Like look at, you know, sports. Like before it was internet personalities, and I would say sports is kind of on a downward trend, but it was sports, you know, Michael Jackson, Kobe Bryant, you know, all these people that got paid millions of dollars. And I think that was, you know, that was before the, you know, the previous generation, everyone wanted to play a sport. And, you know, and I think ours now is like, I want to be on the internet because it seems like such an easy thing. What?
do you mean Michael Jordan?
Who did I say? Did I say Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
You know, as I said that and I just kept going, I was like, I'm not sure if I said Michael Jordan or Michael Jackson. And I was worried that I actually said Michael Jackson. Yeah, Michael Jordan. And yeah, it just goes to, you know, I think it's a generational thing. Like I think every generation has their idols that make millions of dollars. And unfortunately, you know, like I said, 99% of the people aren't going to make it.
Yeah.
Not to discourage anyone from, you know, trying, but those, them's are the statistics there.
Definitely.
Michael Jackson.
Well, if you're done with the Twitch stuff, while we're on a music personality, you had a music put down in our topic section. What did you want to...
What's your okay, so I want to know, first of all, what's I don't know this about you. What kind of music do you listen to?
So this it's kind of it's definitely a mixed bag, but I have this right here. I have one of them is definitely NF, his new album Hope, an excellent one. I think that's his best album. In terms of like hip hop though, that's, or like rap, that's pretty much it, honestly. Like I don't listen to a lot of rappers anymore. But I grew up on I don't know if you call it like classic rock, like AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, Pantera, who else? Korn, Metallica is the main one. Like that's like my dad's band right there. But so but these days just kind of like anything really that sounds good, you know. Linkin Park is probably my favorite band of all time. I've listened to them ever since the first Transformers movie came out. I
think that's where most people got on board.
Yeah. So yeah, and then I pretty much fell in love with them after that. But yeah, it's pretty much anything really that kind of that's like that, like alternative rock. Yeah, man. I'm kind of like looking through my playlist here. Right now it's just kind of like a bunch of random stuff because like, I'm at work where I can like listen to music while I'm working, so I just kind of like go through everything, and sometimes it just gets stale after a while. But one of the bands that I discovered recently is Rammstein or Rammstein, however you say it. It's a German heavy metal band, and they're awesome. I love them. Yeah.
Are they the one that sing Du Hast?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, okay. Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. Just a healthy mix of everything, I guess, except for country. I never liked country. I just couldn't get into it. But yeah. What about you? Okay, so what did you start listening to? What's your favorite, and what do you listen to now?
All right. So I've said this before. I'm from a small town, so you can probably guess where my music kind of started. So I grew up small town on a farm, and country music. But I will say there's even country that I can't stand, like the really like twangy, like got my beer, got my truck, got my dog. I hate that, dude. And I think that's with any genre of music. Like, it's so dumb, dude. Like, there was Bo Bourbon. Do you know Bo Bourbon?
No, I don't.
Oh, I'll send you the video, and you viewers can check it out too. But I believe it's I'll have to search it. But it's Bo Bourbon writing a country song or something, like a hit country song. And all he does is he talks about the tropes that everybody. Oh, here, let me actually make sure. Oh, it's called Country Song. You should definitely listen to it because it's funny. And all he does is he talks about that. He's like, my truck broke down, I got my dog, and I hate that. I hate any country song that mentions beer. It's the biggest, like, just sell a song to just mention beer. And then you've got your dog, and then you've got your truck. But and that's a lot of country music. But okay, yeah. So I'm getting off on a tangent. I hate that so much because to me, country music is what I grew up on. It's what everyone listened to. But I also had different tastes in music as a lot of people around me. I did listen to Linkin Park. Mm-hmm. I got a lot. I got into the I would say the emo punk stuff, Green Day.
Oh yeah.
My Chemical Romance. All of them. I went down some interesting music paths, and I would say my music is very broad. The one thing I hated growing up and I couldn't stand was rap, any type of rap. And I think that country, I think if you like country in any facet, you're going to hate rap. And if you like rap in any facet, you're going to hate country.
Yeah. I
don't think there's any crossover I know a few people that did. I could stand some of Eminem, but anything outside of Eminem was just what is this? I don't even know what I'm listening to. Mm-hmm. But I would say now my music is all over the place. I think because as a youngin', I think music was just what I listened to with my friends or whatever, what was popular. Mm-hmm. But the older I've gotten, the more I've realized how powerful music is. When you're feeling when you are down and you need something uplifting, or when you just want to rock out and you just want something to bring your mood up, to play some Metallica or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And so right now I would say I don't actually listen to a lot of music outside of the gym. So a lot of my music taste right now is Falling in Reverse. I don't know if you know Falling in Reverse.
Yeah, sure.
They've got they have good tempo. They have some heavy, but then I also can appreciate a voice, and the singer has a really good voice. Mm-hmm. AC/DC, so I go anywhere from classic rock to deathcore punk metal or whatever. It's literally all over the place. Yeah. I've really appreciated NF lately. NF, I think, is doing some amazing things. Mm-hmm. I think NF is what Eminem can't be, and he's a wholesome person singing songs. Yeah. And Eminem is just Eminem.
Yeah.
I think Eminem is, you know, influential, whatever, but I think NF is proof that if you want it bad enough, you can do it. Like if you want something, like he's proof that it can happen. So
Yeah, when you mentioned like music that like doesn't have like a lot of flavor or like you know, oomph to it, I guess, or like it emotion. I think that NF brings that out a lot, especially in his new album. And I think that's why he is so popular, is because you know, he writes straight from the heart. It all seems like real, and you know, even like some of his songs, he's just like straight up like just like crying in the studio. It's just powerful music. So
yeah. Oh yeah. He's something else. I don't know a lot of artists right now, and I think another, or rather an amazing thing about the generation or the time that we live in is these indie artists that actually are way better. You know, if you take them writing a song, producing the song, playing the song, singing the song, rather than like 30 people it takes to write a Drake song or a Taylor Swift song or whatever it is, you know, fill in the blank with any, you know, mainstream artist. You know, it's really awesome to see somebody like NF take off and just, you know, blow everyone out of the water.
yeah.
And that brings me to the artist that I wanted to introduce you to, if you haven't already heard of him. His name is Ren. Have you heard of Ren?
My mom is a fan. I've heard one song. I don't know what it is, but like the music video was him like talking to himself and like a gown and a guitar. That was really cool. But
That's probably High Ren. And
Yeah.
High Ren is the song that shot him, like skyrocketed his popularity. And to really get Ren, you have to understand his background. And so when he was, and I'm going to butcher it, I don't know exactly, but when he was younger, he was diagnosed with psychosis, like, and just all these things. And he was really like locked down a lot of his life. Like he couldn't leave his bedroom. He was on a lot of medication. And he talks about a lot of that in his music, but he really, what was going on with him is he had undiagnosed Lyme's disease, or
really,
Lyme disease. And they missed that for like 10 years. And so his development, a lot of his songs, and throughout there he was writing music and writing his songs and doing stuff. But he had a label, or a deal with Sony's record label lined up before all this had happened. You know, he was on the way to stardom, and all this happened. And it really, you know, I think I look at him and I'm amazed, because I would be so bitter if something like that happened to me. Like, say I was going to get signed on to Kick for $100 million or whatever, and then I couldn't stream anymore because I had this debilitating disease take over my body, and I didn't even know what it was. But he's a very humble guy. I think he's 25, 26, somewhere in there. So he's been battling it for, I think, since he's 12, 13. Anyways, if you want to find like a really wholesome story in music, like, I highly recommend Ren. And we don't have a lot of time, so I won't play it for you tonight, but High Ren is really powerful, and he talks about the voices kind of in his head, the internal dialogue he has, which, yeah, what Ren does with just him singing and his guitar, and the way he can make music tell a story, is fascinating and amazing.
So I have a question. So why do you think that music like that, or it's more emotional and kind of tied to the human disorder, not disorder, the human condition, is less popular, maybe like less favorable to the general audience than like, I got my pills, I got my drugs, I got my hose, and I'm squashing bugs kind of rap, you know, like that kind of stuff? Like, why do you think that's more mainstream than that?
I mean, okay, without getting too like conspiratorial here, conspiracy theorists, you know, I think, you know, drugs, sex, and money sell. Like, they sell music, and you push, you know, and we can kind of I don't want to bring it back to Twitch, but like, you know, young women selling their bodies for a cheap, you know, payout on Twitch, it sells. And I think that, you know, for so long, rap and music in general, you know, hip hop, even I would say country to a certain degree, like every genre of music has this, it's a selling point. Like, and I truly believe that. And growing up, you know, I never realized how much of that is in music, because when I was younger, I didn't really listen to the words. I was just, you know, jamming out to the song.
Yeah.
But like you described, like there's so much of it, like the drugs, the money, you know, get the bands, get all this stuff. I think it sells, and I think it's really, really appealing to younger audiences, and I think that's who they're selling to.
Yeah.
And so getting to somebody like Ren or NF that is so, and I'm sorry if I cut you off, but that is so, you know, powerful. They tell such a powerful story with their music. You know, I don't know. That's a good question. I hadn't thought of that just off the top of my head. You know, I just don't think, you know, I don't think that I think it's an uncomfortable truth that a lot of people don't want to say, because a lot of what Ren talks about is, you know, his condition and the condition of the youth in the world, which is not healthy. Like there's a lot of struggling with psychosis and, you know, I'm spacing out my words, but yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
I got you.
What were you gonna say?
No, pretty much that, you know, it's one of my friends in like middle school, you know, there was this like phase in like middle school where people would like bring their own speakers to school and put them in their backpacks and blast just this garbage music. It was Lil Pump most of the time, you know, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, just all that stuff. And you know, like I would invite one of those guys into like a group chat with some of my other friends, and he'd be, you know, promoting his like Lil Pump Stan account and all this stuff, and then yeah, I don't know, like I don't think that kind of music is like healthy or progressive in the same way that like NF's or Ren's music would be. So I don't know. I don't have a straightforward answer for that either, because I'm not sure like what goal would need the path of putting out all this like repetitive music again and again. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think, to kind of bring my point back to home, I think it's just a selling point. I think that these big studios know they can sell drugs, they can sell the appearance of being happy while, you know, doing drugs and having a lot of money and having these cars, which, you know, in materially speaking, I think people always think it will bring them happiness. But then if that's true, you know, you have a lot of man, I'm spacing on my words. You have a lot of big personalities that are depressed. Like they struggle with depression. Like you would think that if that was true, the happiest people would be the rich and the famous. But it seems like more often than not, they themselves struggle with depression and, you know, all these same things that us lowly people that have to work for a living, you know, we have the same problems. So I don't think money truly brings happiness. I think that but that's what they're selling. I think that's what they're selling to a young, impressionable audience.
Yeah, I think that money does bring happiness to a certain extent, but like, you know, no matter how much money you have, we all, in a roundabout way, kind of deal with the same problems in here and in your heart. So, I think that whether you're Jeff Bezos, you know, or me, you know, you kind of just go through the same things most of the time. I do think that money can help, you know, if you're in like a crappy house or neighborhood, you have a crappy car, whatever, you know, that can help a lot. But yeah, when it comes to the human condition, that has to be fixed with you and not money. So yeah.
No, no, no. I agree, and I maybe was hyperbolic saying that because I think that's a really common thing to say. Well, money can't buy happiness. Well, try telling that to someone who can't feed their family, who doesn't have a roof over their head. Like, money does bring happiness to a certain degree, but I think outside of like what you actually need, you don't need a Bugatti. Sure, I would like one, sure, but but I think in general, I think that's it sells. I think they target young kids who want a Bugatti. The tater tots that want 12 Bugattis or whatever, whatever he has. And,
Oh yeah.
I think it's just an alternative way of reaching a young audience. Just like what Andrew Tate does. Hit that young audience that are impressionable, that will buy my master class on how to be a man 101, and I'm all set.
Oh yeah.
But no, Ren is phenomenal. Like I genuinely, to anyone out there, because we all struggle with depression and all this stuff. It just, like, to answer your question, I don't know. Like, I don't understand the appeal. Like, you would think listening to someone talk about their depression would be really depressing. But I think in a way, for me anyways, it's really freeing, because it's like, oh wow, okay, I'm not the only one who's ever had that thought. I'm not the only one. Like, NF says a lot of stuff, but a lot of what he says rings true, because we all have depression and we all have these thoughts. And High Ren is really spectacular, because basically it's him talking to a version of himself that is really down on himself and tells him he can't do it. And basically all his music is a rip off of everyone else. These self thoughts that we have that are really harmful to our mental health and everything we want to do in life. And that's, and he encapsulates it all so perfectly. Yeah. You got to listen to him. And,
Gotcha.
And he also, like, it's probably just the haircut. It's like that. It's the Peaky Blinders haircut. It's really short on the sides, and it's like kind of longer on top. And he reminds me of a really young, oh man, my words are, a young Thomas Shelby, but that's not his name. Cillian Murphy. He reminds me of a young Cillian Murphy. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, High Ren is really good. The Tale of Jenny and Screech. Like, he just tells such a crazy story with music. I personally think, and I really like him, I think he will be one of the most influential artists of our time. Give it some time. I think he'll be there.
Yeah,
And,
I'll definitely have to check him out.
Yeah. And he talks too a lot about and I think to a certain degree he's happy he didn't get that deal with Sony. He talks about the music industry and how they bastardize every artist that signs on with them, they're basically selling their soul to the devil. Like, they can't do what they want to do, and he's one of the fortunate ones that have stayed independent and has actually made it. So, yeah, highly recommend.
Gotcha.
Like I said, the first time you listen to him, you're like, what is this guy doing? Like, I recommended him to my brother, actually, and my brother was like, I don't know what the heck I'm listening to. I'm like, no, you got to give it time. Like, he's telling a story with music.
Yeah.
We're just not used to it. We're used to, boats and hoes, and we're used to music like that. Just trash rap is what we're really used to. Trash hip hop that just is, garbage. If you really break it down to what the words are saying, it's garbage. You got WAP out there, wow, WAP is a really, that's a really influential song that is going to take people a lot of places, that's, wow, Yeah, anyways, I'm off on a tangent, but anyways.
Yeah, I would, never mind. So, I'm not going to talk about WAP, oh my lord. So
I'm sorry I brought it up, but it was the perfect example.
No, it's all right. Now, well, okay, so the reason why I'm like shaking my head at it is because, so like, my dad got married almost 2 years ago now, and at his wedding, some of the brides had their bright idea of telling the DJ to put on a certain song, and at this point you can guess what song it is. So all of the brides go on the dance floor, all of the women go up there and start twerking and stuff, and it's just and like the DJ is over there in the corner throwing his arms up. I'm sorry. So yeah. that was kind of funny.
Okay. Yeah, that had a little personal meaning to you there then, huh?
Yeah. So what would you say is your favorite song of all time?
Oh, jeez, dude. I would say, man, that's a tough question. There's a lot of, there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah.
What probably the song that gets me the pumped up the most when I hear it is "Hell's Bells" by AC/DC. Such an
Yeah.
iconic, just an amazing song.
Yeah.
If you're asking the best song I think has ever been, put out, I think "Stairway to Heaven's" up there. Like, I love "Stairway to Heaven," but my favorite song probably would be "Hell's Bells."
Gotcha. Yeah.
What about you?
That's one of the ones that I grew up on listening to a lot. Let's see. There's two. So one of them is "Free Bird" by Leonard Skinner. Yeah. If I need to like get some, get a lot of orders done at work, I just turn on the guitar solo on loop and boom, there we go. So, but like in terms of like an all around song, definitely probably "Castle of Glass" by Linkin Park. It's in one of their like newer albums. Not a lot of people like their newer music, from like I would say like 2012, 2013 onward, but I think that like that's actually some of their best music. I grew up listening to like the heavier stuff from Meteora and Hybrid Theory, and then this kind of grew into liking, I don't know, not necessarily softer, but like techno, whatever you want to call it, music. So yeah, I like Castle of Glass a lot. Yeah, it's just one of those songs that I think has an emotion for everything. Like this is kind of how I look at music. It's like, I think that music is a place to bring out emotion, and if you have a song that can bring out all sorts of emotions, that's like a perfect song in my opinion. Like I think that like for example, NF on his recent album, I think "Running" is one of the best songs ever. Like that's I love it so much. But yeah, and like while I'm talking about like emotion in songs, I've been like writing like a story, and I've been writing characters in my story around songs. So like one of them is based off of "Running," and another one is based off of some other song. It's a work in process, but yeah. So yeah, definitely "Castle of Glass." Not as deep or whatever as High Ren, but it's one of those vague songs that can fit pretty much whatever you want to. So yeah.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, I love Linkin Park. I think but we'll get into that topic in a minute. But yeah. A quick question on that then for you. So why do you think, let me rephrase it. So recently, I would say a lot of older bands, not older, but I guess older for us, but like Avenged Sevenfold is an example. No, I know at least some Avenged Sevenfold from Zombies, but they've been putting music out for over a decade, like a long time. Well, their most recent album is really controversial, and people don't like it. Have you listened to any of their music? Their new album?
No, I haven't.
There's the one they led with, and I don't remember what it's called, and it's weird, dude. Like, from what we got in like Zombies and classic Avenged Sevenfold to this, it's like I've got to look it up.
Yeah, so what is their song like? This song that you're talking about, is it like
It's
not
Nobody. Yeah, Nobody. It's just different. Like I can't even describe it, dude.
Is it not like heavy metal? Is it like completely
No.
different genre?
It's
Wow.
like It's like they're trying to bridge genres. So my question is, do you think, because okay, so that's a lot of what Ren talks about, and I've seen like him talking about it like in person. He's really impressed me, is why I keep bringing him up. Like I think he's a really impressive person. He's, he doesn't want to work with, even if he had the opportunity, he claims even if he had the opportunity to work with a big label, he wouldn't, because they're cutthroat, and he wouldn't be able to do what he wants to do and what he's really inspired to do, which is to talk about issues that in society are taboo to talk about, and like even putting it in music is like, in the light he is like really like, to show you, like CNN did a hit piece on him, basically saying like he's part of the problem because he's singing about depression and it's going to lead more youth into a depression. And it's like, no, CNN, like I know you have garbage takes in general, but that's one of the worst I've ever seen. Like people need to hear about it. People need to hear other people. And that's what I was saying. Like, I think it's really freeing to know that other people have had the same thoughts you have. Like everybody feels inadequate. Everybody feels like they don't know what they're talking about sometimes. And like everybody has these bubbles that they have to get out of. But bringing back my point is, do you think that it's something they've always wanted to do, is to kind of bridge off into a new genre? Or do you think it's more popular to do it? Or do you think that they just never felt like they could because people wanted a certain thing? And like Linkin Park is another good example, like their new album, like you mentioned.
Yeah. It's it's hard to say because I really don't know a lot about it, Avenged Sevenfold. But so do you know who Ministry is? They're another heavy metal band. So yeah, they they started out and they got signed to a label by making just weird like pop, like electronical music, and then when they had money, fans, whatever, fame, they immediately switched it to heavy metal, and they took off because of their notoriety, and they just pretty much played the system. And that might be what they're doing now with Avenged Sevenfold. I'm not sure. There's this other band which I forgot to mention. It's called Highly Suspect. If it's just
Sounds familiar.
yeah, they're a rock band. If you want a place to start, definitely Boy Who Cried Wolf. That whole album is fantastic. Anyway, yeah, just some of the best songs ever made. Anyway, so like they kind of did a similar thing, but in kind of like the way that Avenged Sevenfold did. They started out great with that album that I just mentioned, and then they went and did like hip hop and rap, and like I don't know how like their community felt about it. They had like millions of views on their rock music, and like thousands, like 2 digits, that thousands, and that didn't look well, except for like 1 or 2 songs that kind of blew up a bit. But it's hard to say because I can see like why people would do that, but and I see quite a few people like kind of take the same route as Ren is doing. Is they make music independently because those labels are cutthroat and they do take over too much of what you make. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I wish I could give more of a clear answer, but I can only like really provide examples of what's happened. So I don't know.
No, that's good. It's kind of it was a random question, but it's something I've been thinking about because go listen. I'll give you all these songs to listen to, but if you do listen to Avenged Sevenfold, Nobody, you can kind of tell them it's just different, and that's kind of what I've wondered is, have the labels controlled what they've produced for so long, and all these bands are just like, I want to break free, like I want to do something different, or is it really just like, let's try something different this time? I don't know. I don't know to what extent the label has control over what people do. I assume it's quite a bit, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to check out Highly Suspect, and One example I will say, and I mentioned them a little earlier, and they're kind of newer on my radar as far as music, is Falling in Reverse. And the lead singer is pretty controversial if you kind of follow him. But I think, I mean, I would say I'm a pretty like, I wouldn't say I'm a normie with like rock music. Like I've listened to classic rock. I like a really wide range of music. And what I love is music that can make you, like you said, feel so many different points on the spectrum of like happy, sad, like over here, like you're kind of confused what's going on. Like, and I'd say Falling in Reverse and Bring Me the Horizon are two bands lately that have been doing a really good job at that. Bring Me the Horizon just put out a new song and it's like whack, dude. I don't know. Have you listened to them at all?
I'm honestly, I'm not really into like kind of bands like that. If I remember like correctly, like they're kind of like I wouldn't say like screamo, but like kind of like heavier, like higher pitch maybe.
They're very
like
like
that.
I would say like I don't know what you call them, emo core. I don't know. There's a lot of genres, but yeah, like I said, gym music is what I listen to lately. So like I like the heavier stuff right now, but they do a really good job at blending, and I'm seeing that to be more of a theme. And Ren does it too to a certain extent, like blending different genres together, because I think they realize like separating all the genres out is kind of dumb because you have this one person that only listens to rap. Well, if you only listen to rap, you're missing out on all the classic rock. Well, if you only listen to classic rock, you're missing out on, you know, like Linkin Park. Like I don't know, what was Linkin Park punk? I don't even know what they're classified as, but
Alternative rock.
yeah, all alternative rock. Like there's so many different there's so many different genres of music. But anyways,
Yeah, Highly Suspect does just a phenomenal job at kind of blending like slight hip hop and rock into songs, especially in the newer album. I think it's called Natural Born Killer. I don't know, but yeah, like their newer album was kind of a return to form from the one that people liked the most, and that was nice to see. So
cool.
yeah, yeah, I like it when artists and bands kind of mold things together, even if one song just blows complete chunks but the rest are fine. Yeah, it's always nice to see people being creative. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that's the point I was mainly trying to get across is I really enjoy seeing bands do what they want to do. Like maybe for so many years Avenged Sevenfold has wanted to do like this alternative kind of music to what they've normally done, and they just have never dared do it because they don't want to turn people off of their music. But so
yeah.
Anyways, yeah, Ren, like I can't shout him out enough. Like he is amazing. Like I think one of the best artists ever, personally. But
yeah.
All right.
All right.
I'm hesitant to even bring it up. I think you know what I'm going to bring up, but another Activision L. It just seems like every week there's another Activision L. Do we need to talk about it, or should we just skip it?
I honestly don't know. Well, you can go through this one because there's so many of them at this point. I don't know what you're.
Yeah, it's another one every week. Like it just okay. So we talked about last week. Nick Merckx said one thing, leave the kids out of it, or I don't remember exactly how he said it, but basically leave the kids out of it. And he got banned. Tim the Tap Man was like, "Hey, he's my buddy. Pull my skin if you're gonna do that." Okay, so they pull his skin. Well, I noticed, or rather, somebody noticed on Twitter, but I saw a Twitter thread. They changed Tim the Tap Man's skin with the new season. There was a bracelet on his wrist that said "Fall Risk," and I don't know. It must be an inside joke to him. I don't know. Maybe somebody out there will tell us. But well, they in the new updated season they took that bracelet off that said "Fall Risk." It's almost like they were trying to get a little jab in at Tim the Tap Man, and people were. I don't know if there's a reason for it, but people were kind of speculating, or maybe it was never supposed to be there in the first place. I don't know, but. Do you follow the Call of Duty Pro League at all? Like, I don't know anyone personally that like actually follows it, but
no. But I am looking through. I'm looking through Call of Duty's Twitter right now, and they are Pro League, bro. people are so excited about the Pro League that there are almost like 900 more comments than there are likes on the Champs 2023 schedule. Wow.
Whoa!
Those comments must completely be positive. Dude, Call of Duty swept it under the rug.
I'm sure it's a positive ratio.
Oh,
I'm sure that, it's everybody's really happy. Okay, so my main point of bringing Activision up is, so they have been caught deleting comments on their tweets and on their videos.
Mm-hmm.
People have caught them doing that. Also, the league started yesterday, and I tuned in just to see what it would be like, because I assumed the comments were going to be a bloodbath. Well, they had their comments turned off on their live stream yesterday on YouTube.
Really?
I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to jump over to Twitch. I jump over on Twitch, and Twitch has an emo only chat. They are so scared. They're getting roasted so hard by everybody. And like I said, I love a good boycott of a big, fat cat company that sucks.
Yeah.
I love it. But, it's really warming my heart in a way. And it's weird that we're all, the community's banding together. And, I won't say it's solely, what happened to Nick Merckx, because I don't think it is. I think people are, if they had just done that and they hadn't pulled any of the other BS they had done lately, I don't think it would stick. But everything on top of that, and Nick Merckx was the straw that broke the camel's back. But, they are just getting brutalized no matter what they put out. The ratios are great. It's like double on all their posts that I've seen, at least yesterday.
Yeah.
I haven't checked it today, but
yeah, here's another one. The Black Cell Battle Pass extension, whatever you want to call it, that has its own honestly unfortunate news. Somehow the Black Cell Battle Pass upgrade is like one of the most sold things on the Steam store this week. Just whatever, man. But like this ratio is even worse than the last one. Let's see. Leave the competition in the black and gold shine with Season 4's Black Cell weapons, all featuring tracers. Fire emoji. 948 likes, 2,155 comments. So, I just keep it coming, guys. Just keep going. Don't let up.
Seriously, I think at this point the only this is what has to happen. It's unfortunate. I've been seeing people call it uncivilized. It's so so uncivilized. But it just, I'm sorry, but it's what it takes. Like, for change to happen now, and I would say both directions, no matter which way you look at it. Whether you believe left or right or whatever, you're centrist, whatever. Like, I'm not even trying to get political. I'm just saying, it has to be such a big backlash for these companies to even make any change whatsoever. And, Activision just keeps, I don't get it, dude. And I think personally, there's just so many people that buy Call of Duty and that just buy it and are completely removed from the YouTube and the Twitter. Like, they don't get on YouTube. They don't get on Twitter. Like, there's so many people out there. We can't even, I can't even comprehend how many people are actually out there that don't get on YouTube and don't get on Twitter every day, and probably don't even have any idea any of this is going on, And I think that I saw that too, the Steam charts, like, top of it is, Call of Duty, the game, and then like right below it or above it, I can't remember the order, is the season pass, I think there's so many people that are just removed from it that just buy it blindly. And I think the only way, every day that the boycott keeps going is another day that maybe 10,000 people or 1,000 people or whatever, 100, I don't know, are exposed to it, and we're like, wow, this is actually kind of a garbage company. Like, I don't want to support these people.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep it up.
Definitely.
Do not, I'm not going to buy it. And a big one I saw, well, not a big one. If you're in the zombies community for any amount of time, you've probably heard of Black Ops Amazing. But I saw he posted a video today, and I've never seen him actually post his face, but that's something he said is, I'm not buying the next Call of Duty. It's something I've done since like 2010, I think, 13 years that he's bought the game. And, he said that. He's like, I'm done. Like, I'm done supporting this company. Like, they put out garbage games. Everything they do is anti-consumer. Like, they don't care about you. They obviously don't care about the creators that they're helping. Like, yeah. So,
Yeah. I will hold my ground. I'm not buying it either. So,
yeah. Yep. I mean, and all the comments I see on like the videos, people talking about it is talking about holding the line, and and I believe that. Like, we've got to keep the pressure on them. Like, it has to get so bad for them that they have no choice but to like say, okay, look, we're sorry, we've done some garbage things lately, but please buy our next game. Like, we're even gonna release it finished, not broken.
oh, wow.
Which won't happen. But, and another thing I'll bring up real quick is, I know we already kind of pointed this out, but if they had banned these hackers, or even one of the hackers, or something, if they had addressed one issue in their game as fast as they addressed the Nick Merckx issue, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah.
Not at all. Like, we would not, because their game wouldn't be trash. But that's the only thing they've ever done in under 24 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, just...
I know. I didn't want to bring it up because we talk about it every time. It's hard not to, though. It's such an L. Like, they just... Oh, dude.
Well, you brought up Cillian Murphy earlier, and you also had something about a doppelganger, someone that looks like him, like a...
Okay, so I was talking about Ren. Like, he...
Oh, no, like here in the server you have the Thomas Shelby lookalike rapper. I see.
Yeah, I was talking about Ren.
Okay.
Yeah. You've got to watch his videos, though, to kind of see it. Now, a lot of it's probably the haircut. It's I don't know what that haircut's called, but yeah, a lot of it is the haircut there, but
Gotcha.
and probably a lot that I've been watching Peaky Blinders too, but I think he does kind of look like Cillian Murphy.
Speaking of Peaky Blinders, do you want to touch on what your thoughts are so far? How far you are into it?
So I think I'm on episode 2 of the final season.
Okay.
And yeah, the final episode, Mr. Jones of season 5, dude. Oh my gosh. I think there's this thing with Peaky Blinders, and I don't know how they do it, because they just get so much emotion. Like, I can't even describe it, man. Like, and I think, to credit Cillian Murphy, because I said this last time, I think he's one of the most talented, underrated people we have ever seen on screen. Like, and we don't see him in very many things. Like, I can only think of like Batman Begins, and I'm sure there's other things, and Peaky Blinders, but
most Christopher Nolan movies I think he's in.
Yeah, but I'm really excited for Oppenheimer. But I just they sell it so well. Like, there's so many shows that you can just watch and you're like, oh yay, there's a bomb. Oh, shot the bad guy. But leaving it on on that note was just, man. Yeah, I don't even know what to say, dude. They left it on such a just cliffhanger, like one of the biggest cliffhangers.
I still get chills thinking about that scene. I'm just like thinking about it right now, like the guitar going higher and higher and higher. And he's walking away in that slow motion shot. Tommy, I'm right here. You can talk to me. Fuck it. Goes off into the woods. Just not the woods, the field. Just so good. So damn good. Oh man, I think that's like the best episode of the entire show. But yeah, just that whole. I'm just in awe at how good it was. It's just awesome. It's like one of those. There are very, very few shows and movies that can like give me that sort of like always like tense, like kind of thrilling experience that like that show and this one movie that I recently watched that I think is the best movie ever made, like in terms of like getting emotion and like excitement out of it and actually feeling like you're in it, and the environment is just perfect. And I'm talking about Prisoners with Jake Gyllenhaal and Hugh Jackman. if you've seen that one. Yeah, definitely recommend. Anyway, so yeah, but Peaky Blinders, man, that last episode is easily my favorite episode of television ever. Oh, I need to watch it again now. Oh my god, I need to watch it again. But yeah, I don't remember much about season 6 except for like the first episode and parts of the last. But yeah,
it's I mean, part of it's probably just coming off of the episode or the season 5 finale high. But I've just been like, it's been kind of hard to watch after that because it's just like I don't like it can't get any better than that episode. Like that episode was phenomenal.
yeah,
Like the only other thing I can equate it to is I don't know if you've watched Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad, I would say watch it. It's good. Breaking Bad has a lot of the same element, not the same elements, but I would say they do a really good job at keeping you on the edge of your seat as well. Like, and it has some really phenomenal episodes, but different shows, different genres.
yeah.
But yeah, dude, at the very end there, when it just like goes to black, you're like, oh, what happened?
And like, what sucked the most is that I watched it right when season 5 came out.
Oh no!
And like, I'm like, wait, that's not it, is it? Are you serious? And then like, I had to wait. Like, how long was it? It was a long time, like a year and a half, 2 years for season 6, and you know, I don't know how to feel about season 6, to be honest. I think they I'd have to watch it again because I only saw it once and only when it came out. But yeah, I think I have to watch it again. Honestly, I don't remember a lot about it. But yeah,
Yeah, so really all that's happened so far where I'm at is Michael and Thomas are kind of taunting each other.
mm-hmm.
Is really kind of all.
Yeah,
Tommy's kind of trying to get into the United States side of stuff, and yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's not that I don't want to watch it. It's just like it can't get any better. Like that was so amazing. Like I wanted to watch it again immediately after. I didn't because it was like that's another. I have a bad habit of starting shows at like 1 a.m, like midnight,
Really?
1 a.m, and I'm like, oh, I gotta finish it. And it's like 2 a.m, and I'm screwed for the next day. Yeah, we've already talked a little bit about Oppenheimer, but you know, I think it's going to be phenomenal. Cillian Murphy just, you know, he sells it.
yeah,
Just really sells it. I mean, I think it'll be best movie of the year, hands down. But
yeah. So, speaking of celebrities, I guess, and movie stars, was there a celebrity death or influencer, movie star, musician, whatever, that kind of hit you the hardest?
I've got 2,
Okay.
and I would put these at basically the same level because it's hard for me to separate the 2 because they both played like I don't say huge part in my childhood. Like sounds like I know him, but Chester from Linkin Park. Like I still, dude, chills go down my spine when I hear his music, and then I remember like, oh, this guy, like he's gone, and it's terrible and it's terrifying because he was obviously in so much pain, you know, and the emotion the emotion he brings into his music is amazing and it's phenomenal. And I think that's what hurts me the most, and that's what hurts me the most is to know like, man, this guy was in a lot of pain, and that's, you know, people have kind of, I'm not speculating how much pain he was in or anything because I don't think that should be done, but you know, it's still, I'm gutted, man. Like I don't know how else to describe it. Like I still remember when I heard about it because I grew up on him. Every song, like every album, I've listened to it all. And the thought that he's gone, it's just, yeah, that would probably be my number one. Like, just, you know, it's weird to get emotional about someone I don't know, but he really did just have that big of an influence on my younger days that, yeah, it's just, yeah. What about you?
Well, I also have 2, and one of them is Chester. Pretty much for the same reasons that you said. You know, no voice like his, just awesome. And you know, I heard this like on like an interview from his wife or something, that, and she's like, I just can't listen to any of his music anymore. I just can't do it. And like, I understand. You listen to a song like One More Light, for example, and you're just like, man, it's just, it was right there in front of us, especially with that song, just right there. But I would say like the one that like just like twice as hard as Chester hit me like a freight train, dude. I grew up, you know, racing quarter midgets, racing cars, so naturally I would like the Fast and the Furious. And you know, one morning I woke up to get ready for school, and man, I just like, oh my god, I still get emotional about Paul Walker, because he's just like, you just like look at him, he's like just one of the most like genuine guys ever. Like they say he has the best smile in Hollywood for a reason, dog. He's just, you know, his acting, you know, forget about it, his infamous Fast and Furious 2 line. But you know, I think yeah, just God, that was just a terrible day. And like, you know, so some of my friends were like, you know, just like bawling their eyes out in the back of the school bus when I was like, did you hear about it? I'm like, yeah, dude, yeah, just a terrible day, man. But like, you know, for like someone like that, it's like how, like what a better way to go out, right? Going Fast and Furious in a car. I mean, I don't know. That just, it's just terrible, man.
Yeah. So you actually took my second one there. Like I mean, when you proposed that question, immediate thought was Chester, and then the other one was like, oh, but Paul Walker. Mm-hmm. And you know, and I don't know how to describe it. And you know, you said the same thing. Like, it's hard to describe, and it's, you know, it's really, I would say, a weird, like almost an alien thought to care so much about somebody that you've never met. But like, they just like, I'm the one stuttering. I'm not going to be able to get through this because it just, like, I can't explain. But yeah, like, and you know, you see these Paul Walker tribute videos, and I don't watch them because I can't. Like, it makes me sad. And like, even go back and watching the old Fast and Furious movies. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what, you know, it was the great thing about the way he went out, is he went out doing what he loved. Like, he loved cars. Like, that's why the Fast and the Furious kind of worked, is because he loved cars so much. And you know, you can make fun of, you can roast those movies up and down, and they deserve it in a lot of ways. But you know, those movies have soul in them. Like, at least the older ones. The newer ones are, you know, just flying to space and whatnot. But you know, I'm roasting him now. But yeah, Paul Walker, dude. And like I said, I can't describe it because I've never met the guy. I don't know hardly anything about him. But yeah, like, just absolutely gutted when I heard that one.
Yeah,
so sad. And I think that's what, you know, it's what made it bearable, is that he was doing what he loved, but it also made it sting that much more for me. It's like, he was in a car when he died. Like, he was, you know, he was driving, like you said, Fast and Furious when he died. Like, just,
that was his dream car too, for what I know. That was like, you know, his like number one dream car right there. That red Porsche. Yeah. So just sudden, man. Just crazy. Yeah, but just one of those people that you feel like you grow up with, and because yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah, I mean,
definitely
and
Paul Walker.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like I said, there's a lot of memes about it, and they're like taken in good taste, I think. But like, they talk about, you know, where girls cried, and it's like some stupid like rom-com or whatever, and then when boys cried, and it's like, I don't know, something else. But then when men cried, and it's, you know, it shows, you know, Paul Walker as like a ghost or his tombstone or whatever. I know it's really true. Like, I think that we don't realize the effect that certain people have on us. His smile, like, I can think of his smile first off. Like, he just,
Yeah.
radiant smile. And I really admire the guy because it just seems like nobody had anything bad to say about him. And in Hollywood, that's almost impossible. There's always some clout chaser out there. They're like, "Oh, he was a jerk to me this one time," and you'll see some article about celebrities that were rude to me. He's not on any of those. Like, he was just genuine. To what I know, I mean, again, I don't know him, but he just seemed like such a genuine, nice guy and just happy. And that's again, bringing it back to the happiness thing and money. Like, he was happy, and that's, I think, what you could see it in his acting. Like, he was genuinely just happy doing what he was doing. And I like those movies. To me, like, they're not the same without him. And I haven't even seen the last like 3. Like, I think the last one I watched was, I think, 5, which was 5 the last one he was in, and then did they deep fake him into 6? I can't remember how.
Halfway through Furious 7, he passed, and then they had to do all that deep fake CGI stuff to finish out his scene. So, like, I think there's like close to like 350 shots of him where his brothers are standing in for him, and it's just CGI or whatever. But yeah, and honestly, like, you can like barely tell, like, it's so good, really.
Yeah.
There's like maybe like 1 or 2 shots where I was like, nah, that's obviously not him right there. But mostly in like, it wasn't done in poor taste. So yeah, it's yeah. But like the last few Furious movies, I haven't seen 9 or X, but I recently saw 8, and Hobbs and Shaw was weird, but like 8 honestly wasn't too bad. It was a mixed bag, but yeah. Anyway, I haven't seen the last 2.
Well, and that's what, like, I guess I'm kind of contradicting myself here because I kind of roast them, but that's what I don't think people get, like, that I unironically roast the movies for being unrealistic. It's like they were never meant to be realistic. Like, you can argue like the first one was the most realistic and like it was the most grounded and stuff, and which is true, but like it was always about the cars. It was always about just these insane like cars that any guy out there would love to get his hands on. And like that's what I think the core of that is still there, but I think for me anyways, Paul Walker had a lot to do with that. Like, I haven't cared to watch the last 2 because it's just like he's not there. Like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like, it's kind of weird, I guess, but that's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah. That's it. I feel the same way. I mean, I think, we were talking about The Rock last week, and I kind of forgot to mention this. We're like, this is kind of a tangent about The Rock and not really Paul Walker, but so, like, he's somewhat of a replacement maybe for Paul in like Fast 8, I think. He's kind of a stand-in in that police role, sort of, but
Yeah.
the more Fast movies that go on, the more that Luke Hobbs, the character, turns into The Rock, I think. It's just and like the more that I dislike his character, because in Fast 5 I think that his character was great, but just the more that it went on, it just seemed like The Rock playing The Rock instead of him playing an actual character in 5. But anyway, yeah, it's just definitely not the same without Paul there. It's pretty much the reason why I didn't watch any after 7, because well, for one, they were getting just crazier and crazier. I'm like, I don't know what's going on anymore. The main guy's gone. No. So yeah.
Yeah, those, I mean, I don't know anybody that didn't grow up on the first at least 2 or 3, Fast and the Furious movies. One especially. 1 and 2. 2 was all right. Wasn't as good as the first one, but yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I don't want to get off on The Rock too much, but I agree. Like, and I said this last time. Like, The Rock I don't know. I don't know how to say it. Like, it turns into the show, like the Rock show. Like, it's just all about the Rock. And like we talked, the contract, he can't lose a fight, and he always has to appear bigger than everyone else, which he is probably bigger than most other people, which is ironic that he has to look that way. But it's nothing personal. Like, some people are just born to act like Cillian Murphy, and some people are just born to be a wrestler actor, which is what The Rock is, and John Cena is, or I don't know.
Well, we're kind of running out of time here, so I will ask one final question instead of a somber note.
All right.
What is the best action movie of all time? Besides Terminator 2. Because that's everyone's answer. So, yeah.
Terminators are good. Man. Do you have one? Let me.
Yeah, I do.
I'm kind of filtering through a few here, so go first.
So mine is actually one that we just mentioned, Fast Five. I think that whole, like, okay, I'm kind of biased because, for one, my mom and I share a Dodge Charger, so of course I had to love the ending action sequence when they're taking out the big safe and they're driving around the city, and like, ever since I saw that movie, I'm like, Mom, paint that Charger black. Do it. So, maybe one day, but yeah, that whole sequence just, the movie is, it's still a Fast and the Furious movie, so it's not perfect by any means, but
right.
that sequence alone is so just awesome, and I'm pretty sure like 100% done practically, so it's just so awesome, man. I love the teamwork between the two cars and the cars and the cars again, and yeah, it's an awesome sequence and an awesome movie. Even though Dom got his Challenger back, even though it got destroyed in a tunnel in the last movie, but it keeps coming back anyway, so whatever at this point.
They rebuilt it. Ground up.
With the power of family, of course. So
family.
yeah. Yeah, so Fast Five for me.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Oh man. So that was always like me and my dad and my brother, we watched just so many action movies. Like, that was our thing, is after work, we all worked together, and we would just watch an action movie before we went to bed.
Yeah.
And so, like, oh man, I've got so many. But if I'm being, like, objectively, I think... Sorry, is the question what's the best action movie of all time or my favorite?
Favorite, sure.
Okay, yeah. And it's hard to choose one because there's so many of them. But I think I would have to say I personally will have to go with 007, the latest one. And I feel stupid because I can't recall the name. It's not Skyfall, it's
No Time to Die.
No Time to Die, yeah.
Ah, okay.
I think for me, that is the perfect embodiment of an action movie. And it's hard because there's so many of them. I think there's like 5 of them. Mm-hmm. But that one to me, like, it just have you seen it?
I only saw Skyfall out of the newer ones.
Oh, okay. I mean, if you want to go on a binge, go watch all of them. But
yeah,
without like spoiling anything, you've got James Bond, and is like throughout the whole like series, basically, there's a constant theme of him losing, people. Like, he loses people, and basically it's all chalked up to James Bond just doing James Bond stuff, Mm-hmm. But the last one, it really shows him as a hero, and like everything he does to preserve the entire world is what it kind of boils down to. But the suspense, and yeah, it's hard to say without spoiling it because I don't really genuinely don't want to spoil it for you. But yeah, I would have to say No Time to Die. I think that is the perfect action movie. Has the perfect like story, wraps everything up into it with a nice bow, and it just action all the way through. So
You know, I did say, I think I did say the best action film. I would say like objectively people would say Terminator 2. I think that's the name that's like thrown around the most, but you know, I don't know how it escaped me, but the John Wick movies, especially John Wick 4, that's one that like we forgot about somehow, but I think that like John Wick 4 is like the best, I think, just in my subjective objective opinion, if that's a thing. But yeah, man, this just nonstop. It's just awesome. Which by the way, it came out on Blu-ray, and I tried to get it, and it was wiped clean. No John Wick Chapter 4s at all. No, nothing. So yeah, man, great.
Yeah,
great.
that one was I haven't seen 4 yet. I still like I gotta go see it. Well, I guess I can go buy it now, but yeah, I haven't seen that one yet. I was struggling with the 007s, the John Wicks, and the Mission Impossibles. Like those to me, those movies are just they're action. Like
I haven't seen any of the Mission Impossibles.
Oh, those are good too. Like, and I will say those the kind of like Terminator. Like, I don't hate Terminator 2, and I know a lot of people claim it is the best action movie of all time. And I don't think the date a movie was produced should factor into that completely, but it does. Like the movie's dated.
Yeah.
And I would say that the original 1 or 2 Mission Impossibles are dated, but the most recent ones are phenomenal. Yeah, they're really good. Like I would put them up there with the John Wicks.
Gotcha. Well, luckily, my mom is the biggest Tom Cruise fan on the planet, so she will love going on that
Watch
mission.
them all.
Yeah, right. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, the latest one too. I would put it up there with the John Wicks and the double of the No Time to Die. Like, just
Gotcha.
Very good action. Very good action. So.
Also, one last one. The Kingsman. Also, that's the first one. I think was better than the second, but yeah. That which by the way, back to Freebird. That was like with that church scene. That was one of the best action scenes. But yeah. Anyway, is there anything else that you'd like to touch on?
Oh man, I could talk movies for days. Like we've got to touch on some of these again, but no, I mean, we talked about some good stuff, some bad stuff. I'm glad that I feel like we're past a lot of the bad stuff that's happened recently, and we're kind of talking about stuff that actually makes us happy now. So,
Oh yeah.
so no, I think I'm had my go. I got to make fun of The Rock, Call of Duty.
As always. All right. Well, that has been it for this episode 7. If you liked it, if you enjoyed, like and subscribe. Also, thank you for the support on the last episode. That's our highest viewed episode yet, so we will take that into consideration for sure. So, yeah, thank you all for watching.